You know that old saying, history is written by the winners? It's such a cliche that we almost tune it out, right? We think of history as this, I don't know, objective list of facts.
Dates, battles,
Right.
names.
Exactly. But it's usually just a story crafted by the person who ended up holding the microphone. Or, in the case of today's deep dive, the guy holding the magic sword.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's the difference between the mascot and the mechanic. And history loves the mascot.
Oh, it loves the hero on the mountaintop,
Yes.
cape fluttering in the wind.
Totally. But when you actually start to peel back the layers of the sources, when you look at the logs, the records, or in this case, the holographic memories, you realize that great man usually had someone right behind him, making sure everything actually worked.
Or making sure he didn't let the ultimate evil conquer the universe because he was, I don't know, too busy posing. So today we are opening the Book of Omens. We're looking at the 2011 ThunderCats series, and specifically the lore around the ancestors. And honestly, we are on a bit of a mission of justice today.
It really is a justice campaign. Because we're digging into the story of Leo, the first lord of the ThunderCats, the guy who led the big rebellion against Mumm-Ra. But we're not really here to talk about Leo.
No, we're here to talk about the person, the history books, and, I mean, the Book of Omens itself just seems to have, well, sidelined.
We were talking about Panthera.
Pantherra, Leo's second in command, his lover, and, as we are going to prove today, the actual strategic architect of the entire rebellion.
And our sources, I mean, we're looking at the scripts from Legacy and Birth of the Blades. They paint a picture of a woman who was just light years ahead of everybody.
And this isn't just about, giving credit where it's due. This is about understanding how change actually happens. It's rarely the one guy with the big speech.
It's almost always the person doing the dirty work in the shadows. And if you look at the timeline closely, without Panthera, Leo fails, period.
That's a bold claim.
The rebellion dies, Mumm-Ra wins, and the ThunderCats, as we know them, never exist.
Okay, let's unpack that. First, we have to set the scene. Our main source is this flashback sequence where Lino, the modern leader, gets projected into the Book of Omens to relive his ancestor Leo's life.
And this is not the Third Earth we're used to. The context is vital here.
Right. This is like full-on sci-fi. A massive starship cruising through the galaxy.
And the Thunderians, the cats, they're serving Mumm-Ra. They're not free. They are his enforcers. They are the boots on the ground for this evil galactic empire.
Which is where you see the first major difference between Leo and Panthera. You expect the first lord of the ThunderCats to be this born rebel.
Champion at the bit for freedom.
Yeah. But when we meet Leo in the sources, he's kind of a corporate stooge.
He is. He's the good soldier. The sources show him on the command deck, diligently searching for the War Stone for Mumm-Ra. He's just following orders.
He believes in Mumm-Ra's concept of order.
Yes, he thinks that by serving this tyrant, they're bringing stability to a chaotic universe. He's completely drunk the Kool-Aid.
Looking at the galaxy and thinking, well, at least the trains run on time.
Totally. Mumm-Ra even praises him, says his tactical skills are a credit to his species. Leo is climbing the corporate ladder of evil. He's invested in the status quo. But then you have Panthera.
A whole different vibe. While Leo is playing diplomat on the bridge, she's already awake.
There's that scene in the hangar where she's looking at the other animal slaves, the jackals, the lizards, and you can just see the disgust on her face. Not for them, but for what the cats are doing to them.
She's the realist. She sees the cage for what it is. Leo is blinded by the, promise of a corner office, but she sees the moral rot at the center of it all.
And this all just comes to a head in that horrific incident with the Plundar system.
Ugh, this scene is heavy. So Mumm-Ra needs to forge his new sword, the Sword of Plundar.
And the ancient spirits tell him he has to quench the blade in the blood of a star.
Which is a poetic way of saying destroy an entire star system to fuel his forge.
An inhabited star system.
A mecca.
And this is the moment Panthera steps up.
She interrupts the Dark Lord Mumm-Ra himself and says, what?
The Star of Plundar supports 10 planets, 3 of which contain intelligent life. She warned him that billions are going to die.
I mean, think about the bravery that takes. She's the subordinate. This is Mumm-Ra.
He kills people for looking at him wrong. But she speaks up. She forces the moral reality into the room. And what is Leo's reaction in that moment?
It's so disappointing. After Mumm-Ra punishes her, Leo tries to smooth it over. He plays diplomat.
He says, Maybe we can find a similar star in another system.
Right. He's trying to negotiate the logistics of genocide instead of stopping it.
Exactly. He's trying to mitigate the PR disaster. He's not saying this is fundamentally wrong. He's saying, can we do this mass murder somewhere less populated? He is still operating within the system.
It's Panthera who's screaming, "You can't just destroy them!"
She realized the order was a lie way, way before Leo did. She practically has to bully him into rebellion.
There's that great line she gives him later.
If we don't, Leo, who will? That's the catalyst. He's hesitant. He's worried about treason, about rocking the boat. Panthera has to drag him, kicking and screaming, to the right side of history.
So she provides the moral awakening. But we promised we'd prove she was the strategic architect, too. Because once Leo's on board, he wants to fight, but just fighting gets you killed.
Exactly. A rebellion needs more than good intentions. Leo is the hero archetype. He's great at combat. He's charismatic. But a rebellion needs logistics, alliances, supply chains.
And the sources are so clear that Panthera handles the dirty work, while Leo handles the heroics.
Let's look at the prison break scene. It's a perfect example. A riot breaks out among the slaves.
And Leo does what Leo does. He punches things.
He jumps right into the fray. He gets into a scuffle with a lizard leader, showing off how tough he is. She quietly corners the leaders of the jackals and the lizards, the very people who have every reason to hate the cats, and she negotiates with them.
The diplomacy is incredible. They don't trust the cats. I mean, why would they? The cats are their oppressors.
And she doesn't give them some big speech about hope and glory. She gives them a cold, hard reality check. She basically asks, what choice do you have to stay in your chains?
She convinces them that Leo is the horse to bet on. She builds the army that Leo is going to lead.
She transacts the alliance while Leo is being the distraction. Even he knows it. He walks out of the cell and says he's in over his head.
He knows. He provides the symbol, the golden lion, but she provides the actual structure.
And then there's the weapon. You can't fight Mumm-Ra with your bare hands. You need a sword that can match his.
The Sword of Omens. And its origin story, again, it's not Leo's genius at work.
Not at all. The plan to steal the War Stone, the MacGuffin, that's Leo. That's the big heist.
But a stone isn't a sword.
No. And the transcripts show Leo gathering scraps of metal, literally acting like a janitor, hiding shavings from Mumm-Ra's sword. He's the delivery boy.
He is. He brings the raw materials to a hidden forge. But who set up the forge? Who organized the blacksmiths to risk their lives for a rebellion that hasn't even started?
Panthera.
It's always Panthera.
When Leo arrives, she's there waiting for him. She says, the blacksmith has agreed to forge us a sword. She managed the personnel. She set up a secret manufacturing facility inside a Death Star. Leo just gets to wield the finished product.
So without her, Leo's got a rock he can't use in an army that hates him.
It's the perfect analogy. Leo's the front end, Panthera's the back end. The user interface versus the code.
The user only sees the sleek interface. They don't see the complex code keeping it all from crashing.
But even with the army and the sword, they almost lose. And this takes us to the most critical moment in the whole story. The climax.
The what-if scenario. I love this part because it's so blink and you miss it, but if you stop and think about it, it changes everything.
Okay, so set the scene for us. Final battle.
Final battle. Leo has the Sword of Omens. He's fighting Mumm-Ra. The ship is crashing. Gravity is going haywire. They crash land on Third Earth. It's total chaos.
And Mumm-Ra is beaten, but he's not destroyed. He's weak. So what does he do? He tries to crawl back into his sarcophagus.
Right, which we know from the lore is his healing tank. If he gets in there, he regenerates. He comes back fresh.
He's a video game boss with a respawn point.
You're right.
So Leo, being the brute force hero, runs up and tries to physically pry the lead open to stop him.
He's using all his strength, straining.
Yeah.
And here's the key. He fails. He cannot stop it with muscle.
Mumm-Ra is seconds away from sealing himself in, healing up, and then popping back out to kill everybody. If he heals, the rebellion is over right there.
Leo's heroism would have meant nothing.
A fully powered Mumm-Ra wins that fight. But then
Enter Panthera.
She sees Leo struggling, and she immediately realizes muscle isn't working. She looks over the control panel next to the sarcophagus.
And she doesn't try to hack it or overwrite it?
No. She smashes the console to pieces.
Percussive maintenance. The ultimate realist move.
She breaks the machine, the lid seals, but the controls are dead. Mumm-Ra is trapped, not because Leo beat him in a sword fight, but because Panthera bricked his life support system.
And that's the moment. That is the MVP move. Leo put him on the ground, but Panthera put him in the stasis grave.
She turned a temporary win into a permanent imprisonment that lasted thousands of years. She secured the future of their civilization. If she hadn't smashed that console, Mumm-Ra would have stood back up. It is that simple.
And yet, let's talk about the erasure. Because when Lion-O looks into the Book of Omens, he sees Leo holding the sword. The big statue in the city is of Leo. Why does history and the book forget the woman who actually did the dirty work?
Well, it goes back to what we said at the start, the great man theory. But there's a technological aspect here, too. The Book of Omens is a fusion of magic and technology. It records great deeds.
But isn't smashing a control panel to save the world a great deed?
To us, yes. But in the narrative of a king, the image that survives is the leader holding a glowing sword high above his head.
Right. Tactical sabotage in the background. That's not as mythic, is it?
It's not. It's just work. It's visual bias. A guy holding a sword looks like a hero. A woman smashing a control panel looks like technical support.
The difference between the poster and the process, Leo is the poster, Pantherra is the process.
And this whole thing is even more frustrating when you find out who her descendant is. This was one of the coolest reveals in the source material.
The connection to Panthera. The sources confirm it.
Panthera is the ancestor of the modern-day ThunderCat, Panthera. And suddenly, everything about Panthera makes perfect sense.
It really does. Panther is the mechanic. He fixes the thunder tank. He's the grump, the cynic. He's always the one telling Lion-O, that's a bad idea, or the tank can't do that.
He inherited that hard reality outlook directly from her.
Right.
Just like Panthera had to ground Leo the dreamer, Panthera serves that exact same role for Lion-O.
It's in the DNA. The dreamer needs the realist. The king always needs the engineer.
But notice the difference in status. Leo became king. Panthera's descendant became the mechanic. It shows you how society values those skills. We build statues for charismatic leaders.
And we pay engineers by the hour.
But without the engineer, the leader is just a guy standing in a field yelling at clouds.
Oof. That stings a little. It makes you look at the whole team dynamic differently. The hero isn't one person. It's a system. Leo and Pantherra were a two-person system.
And one couldn't function without the other. Absolutely. Leo gave the rebellion a face. Panthera gave it a brain. And a spine.
I get the vibe she didn't want the glory, though. She just wanted the win.
She wanted freedom. She wanted Mumm-Ra gone. And she was willing to be the cynic, to be the one to smash the machine rather than wrestle it. She didn't need the statue, but she certainly deserves her flowers now.
Absolutely. The definition of an unsung hero, the forgotten MVP.
And frankly, without her, the ThunderCats are just a bunch of slaves waiting for their next orders. She is the one who sparked the fire.
So as we wrap this up, think about the story we just unpacked. Leo had the sword, the look, the legacy, but Pantherra had the brains, the guts, and the wrench.
She saw the truth when everyone else saw order. She built an army out of enemies, and she smashed the button that saved the world.
It makes you think about your own life, doesn't it? In your company, your community, your history books, who's the Leo, the face on the statue?
Yeah.
And who's the Pantherra, the person just out of frame who actually broke the control panel and saved the day, but got left out of the footnotes?
Go find your Pantheras. And, maybe buy them a coffee. They're probably tired from saving everyone's bacon.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive into the true history of Pantherra. Keep your eyes open for the truth behind the legend. We'll catch you next time.